Hey everybody, how are you today? I hope you're doing very well. I am going to be doing some more zodiac readings, but honestly, I kind of wanted to come on and do my usual general collective energy update. I hope you guys are handling this transition into Cancer season well. I have been incredibly emotional the last couple days, and it's been a real challenge. I did get to go out and have fun last night, which was nice. And my birthday is coming up in a very short time, so I'll be doing that more in the coming days. However, I really am going through some emotional triggers, and I did look up the moon placements and compare them with my natal chart, so that could be part of the issue. But you guys might be going through that as well, because Cancer is a water sign, very emotional sign, ruled by the moon. And just in general, I feel like there's a lot of transition happening, not only having just gone through the summer solstice, but just the energies that are coming into the planet in general have been very transitional. I'm just going to stick with that word, transitional. I felt great for a while, and then, I don't know, just a few things. Essentially, I feel right now I'm going through this phase of feeling not good enough in any aspect of my life. And that, I think, is something that a lot of people are going through right now. So I just kind of want to get some of the energies. Maybe it's just me, but I do think a lot of people are going through that. And it comes down to self-judgment and really judging who you are and where you are, and looking for external validation for things. And then when it doesn't come in, because we are really being asked to look inside for our own validation, it really starts to hurt, you know? And like, from professional issues to relationships to even down to, you know, reading tarot cards. I just, like, a friend of mine yesterday was talking about how he and some other people sort of laughed at a woman reading cards in a bar, I guess. I don't know what the whole situation was, and I don't know who she was. You know, maybe I don't know who she was, but in any case, this person has to know that I read cards. And I was just like, so, on some level, so deeply hurt by that, and took personally probably something that was not meant for me. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to hurt me in any way, but then I turn around and look at myself, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, judging myself for doing something that I am. No one will ever change me from being a psychic or a healer, a reader, animal rescuer. I'm getting really choked up because, like, I think I'm really looking at myself and judging each aspect of it. And that is not self-love. That is self-criticism. It's self-judgment. It's the opposite. And in some ways, it takes us away from self-love, but in other ways, I think because this is clearly a cycle, this is clearly a phase, it kind of redirects my attention back to self-love and really finding value in who I am personally, not caring what anybody else thinks, you know? So, sorry. I do this every once in a while. I get like super, I was just shuffling while all that was happening, and this is all about, you know, just needing to get through this cycle and really understand my own truth to clear away the negative thought patterns and the bondage to that self-judgment to get the new beginning. So anyway, this is not about me. This is about all of us. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, because some of you might be going through it. And also, I think it's part of my own healing to be able to talk a little bit to you about what's going on with me. Also, don't be a dick. Like, somebody was a total dick on one of my last videos because I was sharing my story, and I guess they wanted me to pull the cards and stop talking on my own effing channel. So my feeling is, if you don't want somebody to talk on their own channel, then maybe you need to be on another channel. I mean, basically that's the purpose of having a channel. So I wasn't overly triggered by it, but right now I'm mad about it because I want to share my feelings. So don't go jump on that person or anything like that, because I did leave their comment up. I thought it was obnoxious and they could just like show themselves to be obnoxious and that would be their punishment, so to speak. That's probably petty. I don't care. All right, guys, I really have been talking for too long now. Let's get into the cards. I just want to find out what the energies are coming up this week for the collective. Strength just came up. So yeah, I think it's, focusing on inner strength, but really understanding what that means, because we have so many ideas about what strength really is. And it's that I feel like we're breaking away from a sort of toxic masculine sense of what strength is and moving more deeply into the feminine, which makes sense. Here we are just, 2 days into Cancer season, or 1 day, 2 days. Starts right after the equinox. But essentially that's the cosmic mother, the mother energy. And so it's like we need to return to the idea of nurturing as strength also. And that's kind of where I feel like I am with myself, is needing to self-nurture a little bit, to look within myself for my own validation. And the same is true for you guys. Finding our value internally with no one else's, no one else's say so. The Page of Swords also popped up, and I do kind of feel like, in a sense that we might be a little bit emotionally vulnerable at the moment, and so we might say and do things that we don't necessarily mean. And so we need to be sensitive to that with ourselves and also other people, right? So with ourselves, what that means is if you do catch yourself in this judgment phase, you need to be able to go back to yourself and essentially apologize to yourself and say, like, that was me having a moment, and I accept that, and I'm in acceptance of it. I observe it, and I'm going to be more nurturing next time. And really the same is true with other people. If you are in that emotional state where you're acting out of your wounding, which is basically what I think is happening for a lot of people, we're acting out of our wounding and maybe not thinking through what we say or do as much right now. Although I don't feel like I'm acting out with other people. I feel like I am really being like harsh on myself right now, but it can go both ways. And honestly, it's very easy to go from one to the other because it's the same sort of energy. It's just whether it's internally directed or externally directed. So do watch that and be aware that the nurturing behavior needs to be both internal and external where appropriate, okay? See what else wants to come out for this week for the energies for the collective, please. The High Priestess, there's that looking internally, really understanding that internal truth with the Empress, that mother energy. And then I knew the Nine of Pentacles was going to come out. This is like my trinity of female feminine power, okay? And I don't mean female power really like as in biologically female. I mean our own feminine power, which is within each and every one of us. So I think that this is like got to be about digging deep into that respect, admiration, and nurturing of the feminine side, the part of you that is loving. It is not that, there's not a loving part of the masculine side, but they're more protective. They, meaning, the archetypal masculine, not men, okay? So the High Priestess being here, digging deep and really valuing and honoring that intuition. Maybe you're a tarot card reader, and it's okay. And the Empress, there's the nurturing again, and that like creation, that creative force behind everything that we do, and we need to value that creative force as much as we value the force of structure, the force of power and control, okay? And then finally, the Nine of Pentacles to me is that while within us, the masculine and feminine constantly support each other, hopefully, or we're always striving for that balance, and that balance is definitely coming in a lot of different ways. But this to me is about, I want to say self-sufficiency, but it's more than that. It's almost like self-worth, self-value, self-respect, self-care. It's all of those things that the feminine so often forgets to do because she is too busy nurturing. She is so busy creating. She is so busy digging deep and following her intuition and, you know, helping others and healing and providing guidance and all that kind of stuff. Okay? And so it's like, and I also feel like this Nine of Pentacles, sorry, I haven't been showing the cards at all. This Nine of Pentacles is a little bit about that respect for these two powerhouse female archetypes, right? I mean, you can't get, this is it. This is the top of the line right here. So as we move into they're just talking about the eclipse season, as we move into the eclipse season, whatever that means, and they are showing me a doorway to the left of my left ear, so I feel like maybe passing through that solstice brought us into this season where we do need to really focus in on our own aspects of the divine feminine and really learn to embrace and respect and look highly upon them instead of, it's almost like this sense of, and this is going back to me, but this may resonate for some of you, but like that person saying those things about a tarot card reader, it's almost like it's not what he said that was hurtful to me, it was my reaction to it and my weird silent shame. And what is that shame really? You know, it's about bringing the intuitive into the physical world where it's not respected in the same way. So I think that, you know, that is a message for each one of you, for however that resonates in your life, because there's going to be a way that resonates in your life. This shit doesn't come out in my readings just so that I can, you know, talk about myself. And making sure that we're honoring the intuitive, we're honoring the divine feminine, we're honoring the creative, we're honoring the nurturing. Make sense? Okay. Moving on. This is the Aquarian Tarot, by the way. I just bought it yesterday at some oddity shop in Covington, Kentucky. Super cool. It's published in the 70s and it has like this crazy groovy vibe. Okay, let's get some more cards here. Got Judgment popping up with the Five of Swords. That makes some sense. Let's see what else wants to come out for this week for the collective, please. Okay. So Judgment with the Five of Swords. This to me again is like this sort of internal judgment. We're going to need to watch that this week, I think, because this kind of feels like this sense of picking on ourselves. Of the Five of Swords to me is a little bit like winning a battle, but at what cost? Okay, and then paired with the Judgment card, it's almost like when are you doing this? And in what ways are you denying who you are by winning the battle and at what cost? You know, you win the battle by what? Suppressing, you know, your truth, your own authenticity, who you are, what you truly want in your life, what really feels good to you. Being okay with people mocking who you are, being okay with people crossing your boundaries, being okay with, you know, people not honoring, you know, your emotional needs or your whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be different for every single one of you, but I feel like this gets us to reconsider where our boundaries are and how we're complicit in allowing them to be crossed, and where we can change the way that we're doing life, right? So that not only are people on the outside not crossing those boundaries, but we ourselves, most importantly, know where those are and are not defying them, if that makes sense, okay? Next, we have the Magician with the Wheel of Fortune. That really means to me that this is firmly in your hands. This is really not about anybody else or who said what to you or who posted some bullshit on your social media or like who at work is giving you a hard time or anything. Okay, it really is about us, and it's up to us to create a change in how we accept the things that are given to us, how we decide to judge ourselves based upon the stimuli that come into our awareness, whether it's something someone said to us, something we read in the news, you know, some kind of echo of a past wound. Any of those things are basically stimuli where we have a choice at every moment in how we're going to react to that. And I'm hearing that we are being asked to react to that in a way that's loving and nurturing, not only to everyone and around us, right, and trying to do the right thing, but primarily to ourselves, to change this pattern of self-judgment and bring it into the reality of self-love. I know I'm harping on self-love all the time, but I'm telling you, this is a concept that once you get it, and believe me, I've dipped my toes into it and been there, and then I go back, and I think that's just like how life is. But I feel like once you're in it, then you really get it. But until then, it just is like empty words. You know, you really have to keep going back to it because life is cyclical. You will have times when you are not so much in self-love, and there will be other times when you've really got it. So, but here I am again, judging my message, you know, judging what the message that I'm here to bring you, feeling like I have to explain it. And I don't have to explain it. I'm just here to give you this message, and you can decide whether you want to take it or leave it. That part is on you. The delivery is on me, and I need to stop judging myself. So anyway. We've got the Eight of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords and the Two of Swords. So this kind of feels like to me maybe we have gotten a little complacent about the work that we're doing in regard to self-love. It's possible, I'm hearing that things started to move so quickly and things started to feel like so different and new and high vibrational that we might have stopped paying attention to certain aspects of our own interaction with our world, okay? So for me, this comes down to self-judgment. For a lot of you guys, it probably does too if you're listening to this channel, right? You're resonating with me, and that's my biggest hurdle. And so we might be just hitting a little bit of it's almost like a little bit of a roadblock to kind of like pull yourself together, right, before you move forward. And I'm hearing that, immediately some of you are blaming yourselves for being there, and that's not the case. Like, you are where you need to be at every given moment. And again, look at it with nurturing and remind yourself that you deserve this time in order to sort of get yourself on better footing, get yourself in the flow again, okay? There have been a lot of energetic shifts, and so a lot feels like it's shaken up right now. Totally normal. And in order to sort of get the flow moving again, you're going to need to redirect that work back to what they're showing me is somebody with a lot of cords attached to them. So this could be cords of, emotional attachments to different things. Can absolutely be cords attached to people, expectations of people, things like that. So it's important that we're looking at the energy cords that we have attached to us this week, and not only, and go ahead and cut them, essentially. Cut those cords. There are a million cord cutting like meditations on YouTube. I can certainly walk you through something. But it's really about taking back your own power, your own energy, and not shutting everyone out, leaving your heart open to be able to give and receive positive energy, but you set the boundary to no longer allow yourself to be siphoned off of in a negative way, okay? It's going to, I feel that's going to remove whatever roadblock you might feel was put in the way or will be put in the way this week, if that happens for you, if you're resonating with this. It's not going to be everyone. And it might be on another week. It might be that a week from now, this is what you start experiencing, because a few days ago, I felt amazing. You know, this has all transpired within the last, like, less than 48 hours, I'd say. Ace of Swords is coming up here. So yeah, that's just a really, it's a clarion call for acknowledging your truth and your authenticity and not settling for less, okay? And that really, really means not settling for less within yourself. That doesn't mean beat yourself up because you think you're not good enough, but not settling for less means accepting yourself for every little thing that you are. It's beneath you not to accept yourself for every little thing that you are. Do you get what I'm saying there? Like, you deserve that. And so therefore, that is your truth. That's your authentic need, essentially. Okay? When we beat ourselves up and try to insist we be someone else, that's not being you. Okay? All right, let's get just some advice, and then we'll close it up so I don't go too long. Some advice, please, for this coming week. The Chariot. We are picking up pace again. We've just got to get through this sort of recalibration of the way that we're thinking about things. It's recalibration because the energy around us has changed. It's like jumping from a cold pool into a hot pool, and just like your whole body needs to readjust to that change in temperature, right? Or we're readjusting to a change in frequency. Page of Cups, being very, be very gentle with yourself. Catch yourself in those moments of like mental judgment and mental like browbeating, and make sure that you're being gentle and loving to yourself like you would to a child. Your inner child literally is who you're being gentle and loving to. So if you need to, picture yourself talking to yourself as a kid, because that kid deserves to be parented in a way that's loving and not in a judgmental way. Because guess where that judgmental voice came from? That's what I'm saying. Okay. And finally, we have the World with the Eight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. This is just about compassionately walking away from the things that are no longer serving us now, and that includes this judgmental mentality. It includes people who are, and I don't like to say no longer serving us, because we don't expect, or we should not be expecting people to be serving us at all times. You know, we all are living together in a symbiotic way, or should be in a symbiotic way. If they are parasitically living off of us, that is when it is detrimental, and when it is time to say, this is no longer in my highest and best good to stay in this situation. So there are going to be people, places, things, situations, ideas, thought patterns, emotions, wounding, all kinds of things that we need to sort of cut emotional ties with. With the Eight of Cups coming up here, let me just show you these cards. The Eight of Cups coming up here, that's all about cutting emotional ties. But the Queen of Cups is about doing it in a compassionate and loving way. It is for the highest and best good, is what I'm hearing. And the World here is just that wrapping up of the cycle. It's a victorious wrapping up. It's not a Ten of Swords, awful, everybody died type energy. This is like the marathon is complete, you know? So this is the end of an important cycle, and tying off some of this emotional pain that some of us may have been going through, okay? I hope this was helpful for you. Please do let me know in the comments. Just be polite. That's all I ask. You don't have to agree with me. Just be polite. And if you would like to set up a personal healing or reading session with me, you can do that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. I appreciate all your likes, subscribes, and shares, and I will catch you next time. The rest of my zodiac readings will be going up in small doses all throughout the week. Okay? All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.